Okay, so welcome back. Let me show you the backend engines, and I want to show you this particular article that talks about a broader picture of backend development. Now, when it comes to backend development, I don't need to tell you about the protocol. You know what the protocol does. You don't need to know what I don't need to tell you about the package managers. You know what the package manager does. So, for instance, I will show you an application where I need to use package managers. Take for and you know what GitHub and GitHub does. For instance, I am building. So let me just open an application. Okay, so I want to show you a simple application like this, and this is a very simple uh, landing page for Zen CRM, and you see because of the kind of tooling that was used, you can say this is HTML, pure HTML code, the one you learned. Um, but this is running on this front end, even though it's HTML, is running on Vue. So I need a package manager to bring it up. So I'll do an npm. Okay, so what's going on? Oh, my VS Code is updating, but I'll just try and it's updating at the time of recording this video. But I will just quickly just run npm run dev. Okay, I'm using a package manager to run, and I can see immediately it notice it notice there is no backend services. Okay, so what you are seeing here is my write coming up. Okay, okay, this is extremely slow. Okay, so my my npm run dev is complete, and then I can just easily click on this. It's open once on the website. Okay, is it up now? This is probably one of the challenge. Okay, so this is it. Now up. But the point here is not about this website, it's about the npm. Okay, it's about the npm. Yeah, which is a package manager. npm n, the n stands for node package manager, and I will explain all of that in between. So we can talk about the package managers. Okay, so talk about the package manager. Language. What language are you using? JavaScript, of course, for this class. And then what are the backend framework? And that's what I'm going to talk about next. So this is the entire overview of backend development. What framework are you using? Node.js, Springboard, Django, Laravel, Express, Ruby on Rails. And then what database are you using? SQL, Postgres, Microsoft Server, Oracle, SQLite. SQLite is non-structural. Is non-structural coding language, very light. All right, so um, or okay, yes, relational. Sorry, this is relational. MongoDB, Apache, all of these things. Now let's go to API, REST, and all of this. GraphQL. GraphQL is probably the best. REST and GraphQL is probably the best. Whatever you use is the best. And then talk about security protocols, SSL, non-secure protocol. That this one is secure socket layer, and all of that. You keep going. This comes to performance. How do you take performance token, authentication, JWT, whichever way you use to run your authentication, and then go to testing integration. This is everything about backend development uh, uh, architecture. This is backend development architecture. So whenever you are working with the backend, I want you to have this architecture in mind. You want to know that you are running, you are using a package manager or project manager, as this one's call it. I don't know where the sub projects. It's actually package manager. So because NPN is Node package manager. Package manager, then you are using a particular language. In this case, the project I showed you earlier in the first lesson in this module is a PHP project, and I will explain all of this in a short time. And then you can come to framework. So we know you know network protocol, you know all of this, you know we are going to come to this in a bit, and then let's talk about the backend frameworks. Now let's talk about the backend frameworks. There are quite a lot of backend frameworks, as you can see, but let's talk about Node.js. Node.js is probably the most powerful. Node.js Node.js is probably the most powerful uh, backend framework that has ever been written as open source projects. Node.js does everything. It lifts everything. It run real time application like chats, chatbot gaming. Yes, I built game using Node.js before. So it does gaming, it does charts, even does ridiculous things like single page application like this one. This is a single page application. Every page you go on this page is rendering headless server. Okay, right. So let's come back to Node.js. It does single page application for React, for React, for React, for Vue. It does it for everybody. It does for everybody, but of course, React is JS, Vue is JS, Nest JS, all of these things. Okay. Streaming application. Oh yes. This guy does a lot for streaming application. Your Netflix is running on Node.js, and you can see that Netflix is somehow better than Prime in terms of delivering content with low internet. It works for everything. This is a fantastic, powerful backend framework. Of course, the next one is the Django. Don't worry, I'm just showing you the, the Django. I'm just letting you know how everything works in the background. This guy is the heavyweight lifter. Think about a crane. The Django is the crane. It lifts everything. In fact, when you have a project that is extremely heavy, you know that it will be heavy, like a SaaS project, usually like a SaaS project for like you're going to have a lot of users, heavy projects. Think of the Django. The Django is powerful, and of course, Python is a very powerful programming language. Remember, Node.js is for JavaScript. Python is a very powerful, especially for backend, and this is the framework for Python, the Django. Very powerful. In fact, some of your chat bots, like ChatGPT, is running the Django in the backend. That's to tell you how powerful it is. Okay, so ASP.NET, old school, rusty, good for good for good for big applications like nobody really used this guy again. Okay, so it's good for it's a blazer. If the It's a blazer, very fast, very powerful, but it uses old language like .NET, C sharp. No, but I'm not sure anybody really C sharp and C. They are very, very terrible language, quite difficult. I'm not sure young people look at that again at this time. But it's a blazer, so think of it as, imagine an ATC The software used by ATC, air traffic controller, around the world is built using ASP.NET. I mean, the engine is the engine. That's how powerful ASP.NET is. Which one is next is Laravel, my own darling. If you ever know me, the very first programming language I ever learned in my life is PHP. So Laravel is, everybody knows that I'm a PHP Laravel artistic artisan, if you like. This guy built everything. He built everything. I'm a Laravel guy. You can understand my smiles. Laravel is battery included, so everyone can build and shape web application at it. Like when they say at ease, think of this kind of application is heavy, very heavy, and this is Laravel. This backend is Laravel, and it carries airline all flights across the world. Okay, very powerful. Don't even think about it. Very powerful, very light. It's raining, so the network is a bit bad, but very powerful, very light. Okay, so let's close all this. So Laravel is PHP. Remember, Node is JS, JavaScript, while the Django is Python. ASP.NET is old and rusty C Sharp or .NET. Laravel is PHP. Another good guy on the line, this one is good for applications as well, is Ruby on Rails. Ruby on Rails. Ruby on Rails is built using the programming language called uh, Rails. Okay, I don't know who named it too, but this is also very powerful. So Ruby on Rails is the backend for Rails. Okay, I'm sure this has to do with India because India like anything like Ruby. Yeah, so very powerful backend, good for everything. Someone like me, I think I only use it once for one project, just once. It has its shortcomings, but it has its advantages. Another popular, and I'll stop here, is Express.js. Express.js. This is the light version of Node.js. This is the junior brother of Node.js. Express.js is, think about Node.js is, in fact, just think about Node.js with minus all the heavyweight capacity. In fact, you are building something, you want, let's say you are building an application for school. I think you should think about Express.js rather than Node.js. Fast, I can tell you it is very fast. Minimalistic, I love minimalistic things, and this guy is very minimalistic. And it also works with Node.js itself. So these are the back-end framework engines. This video is very long now, but I hope you have learned one or two things. In the next module, I believe, in our next module, we will now be connecting in our next lesson, not module, we'll be connecting databases using AI. So we'll be working with SQL, Superbase, Firebase, and I will show you all of them one by one. I'll just show you two. I will do Firebase, that is software database as a service, and I will show you database as a tool, SQL. All right, those two, I will note that down, and then that's when we'll do our next video. See you in the next lesson. Bye.